Hey there, Cinephiles. Today I'm doing my Mission Impossible, The Impossible Not Really rankings. This is me ranking all 7 Mission Impossible movies, of which I mostly saw for the first time not too long ago, in honor of The Final Reckoning coming out this weekend. Coming in easily at number 7 in a tier of its own is Mission Impossible 2. This is by far the most different in the worst way. I mean, even Ethan Hunt is different and just not in a good way. The villain isn't memorable. The movie franchise itself forgets about this through very funny ways. The only good thing about this movie is that it shows how much Ethan loves to climb, and well, that comes in handy in other installments. Coming in at number 6, multiple tiers above the last one, is Dead Reckoning. This is the latest Mission Impossible movie, and it is good and better than it was the first time I saw it. However, there are still some things missing, and even though it's not quite my favorite, it could still, potentially make its way up to 5. But there are some just messy things like the human villain in here that just really hold back this movie for me. Coming in at number 5, I have Mission Impossible 3. Philip Seymour Hoffman is great. However, I do think this movie just doesn't shoot up my rankings due to just the expectations game. So many people have this as top 2 Mission Impossible movies, and they really, really love Philip Seymour Hoffman in this. However, there just isn't quite enough Philip Seymour Hoffman in this for me. The rest of this movie is pretty okay. It's really the villain that just stands out for me in this, and that's why it's right here. At number 4, I have the 4th Mission Impossible movie, Ghost Protocol. This brings in Jeremy Renner, this brings in Brad Bird, and is basically the start of the second half of the Mission Impossible movies that we know and love today. And I mean, just one of the best stunts in the entire franchise in the building climbing sequence, and just, man, it's pretty sick. The only reason this is so low is because there's not enough of my favorite character, Luther, which hurts the movie for sure. It really does. Coming in at number 3, I have the first Mission Impossible, directed by Brian De Palma. You just have this very succinct movie that's in its own style, and yes, it is quite different, but not in a bad way like Mission Impossible 2. It's different in a very fun and good way, and just for it being the start of a franchise, I love how just singular it is. It's great. There's a bunch of wonderful stunts, and honestly, the only thing that really brings this one down is the final action sequence. It's a little too cartoony for this type of movie, but everything else is just so fun and so great. I have a blast with this. Coming in at number 2, I have Rogue Nation. This seems to be the peak of what Mission Impossible can be. Everything is just firing off on all cylinders. You get Rebecca Ferguson in, you get Christopher McQuarrie starting to really hit it on a stride. You get some wonderful banter and some camaraderie with all of the castmates, and you do get some pretty good villains in here too. However, it's not until you see my number 1, which is Fallout, that you can see the true peak of what this franchise can be. Fallout is so good. It takes everything that Rogue Nation does well and just does it even better. I'm unbelievably excited for The Final Reckoning. I hope you are too. And these are my rankings. Be sure to share your rankings down in the comments. As always, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Be sure to stay tuned for more Yeti Films content, and I'll catch you later.